This is what I'm talking about. Close up. What it do, friends? Okay, so I had this thought that since basically all things Halloween are coming to an end, as Halloween is next Monday, and Thanksgiving being literally right around the corner, I thought it'd be a good idea to share how I make my broccoli cheese casserole, which stems from a family recipe that I got from my mother-in-law. And there is kind of an inside funny story about the whole thing and how I came about my recipe that I do, which I will share with you at the end once this is all baked in its glorious goodness and ready for some bites. And I will share that story with you. But moving along, I will show you a picture of everything needed. It's very simple, as long as you have everything. I tend to just kind of get everything set, so when I'm ready to put it all together, like I shredded my cheese already. I'll show you. Cheese is pre-shredded and ready to go. I have my Cheez-Its, and this is a full 1 cup. And I'm using actually a liquid measuring cup because a dry measuring cup would probably be less than this. You want a full cup of crushed Cheez-Its. And yeah, my cream of mushroom is ready to go, as well as my yogurt. And I have chopped up my broccoli. The main ingredient, right? Alright, so to begin, I'm going to do the cheese mixture. Get you a big mixing bowl. Let me move some stuff around here. I know, I can't get it to where you can see everything and my face. I don't know. It wasn't working for me today, so hang with me. This is how we're doing it today. Inside, I did do one egg. It's in the bowl in there, already mixed up. So you are going to want 1 egg. And yeah, let's get to it. It's really simple. I like to use plain Greek yogurt, and this says it is like a 5.3 ounce, whatever. I mean, just, get yourself some of that. One of these. It could be any plain Greek yogurt that you want. And technically, the original recipe calls for mayo. I'll talk about that. If you are a mayo lover, I am not. Use mayo. And I would say, I'm pretty sure my mother-in-law would say it's 1 cup of mayo. Maybe half a cup, but I'm pretty sure it was like 1 cup. Just saying. But anyway, yeah, I like to use plain Greek yogurt for my recipe. And then I am going to use, this is cream of mushroom with roasted garlic. I love my garlic, what can I say? But you can use regular cream of mushroom. Don't use the sodium free. I say don't. And the reason is, I'm not adding any salt or pepper to this recipe whatsoever, because everything should have what it needs already in it, if that makes sense, like the sodium. So don't go with that. I mean, unless it's for a health reason, but I don't think a can of cream of mushroom, regular without it being like no or low sodium is gonna hurt you. But I don't, because I don't add any extra salt or pepper, like I said. Alright, there's that. Give this a little stir-ski. And yeah, it really is simple though when you think about it. I actually never had broccoli cheese casserole until I, met my soon-to-be husband and his family. His mom made it for like all the family, like special family dinners or occasions. My family did not, so I never grew up with like a green bean casserole or a broccoli cheese casserole. I'm pretty sure it's because they all really do not like veggies. That's my thoughts. But it's good. This is good. Alright, so yeah, it's gonna look something like that, kind of like gloppy goo. And I used a whole 8-ounce block of cheese. I'm only going to put in half right now. Set that in there. So yeah. How'd you love this dish? So cute. Matches, it came with like my casserole set, but I just love cute little things like that. Yeah, so I'm gonna do half. Bloop. Yeah, that's good. Then stir it up, as Bob Marley would say, stir it up. Oh man, that was awful. That is awful, but it's in my head when I think of it. I'm sorry, Bob Marley. Like random little things come into my head. I'm a nut, what can I say? Sorry, Bob. Stir it up. Alright. So yeah, that looks good. And again, still looking like a gloppy mess. I used fresh, should smell goats. Where do I stick this stuff? I know. I used a bag of already pre-washed broccoli, and I just gave it a light chop. As you can see, it's lightly chopped. So chop it up as little or as much as you want. I tend to still like some chunks of it. I don't want like it to be mush, I guess you would say. And if you want to use frozen broccoli, you can. But here's the but. If you use a bag of frozen chopped up broccoli, you're going to want to let it thaw in a strainer like over your sink. And once it's thawed, then you need to squeeze out all the water that comes with it. Because if you just stick it straight into your casserole, it's going to be a soupy mess, and you don't want that. So yeah, big tip, you can use frozen, but you need to thaw it and squeeze out all that water along with it before sticking it in. Just saying. We're going to give this another big stir. See, now the Bob Marley song's like stuck in my head. Oh, Lordy. And you're just going to want to really make sure all the cheese stuff is coating the broccoli. And you're probably going to think, well, that's just not enough, cheese mixture. But trust me, it'll be okay. As it bakes, it will all kind of like thicken. So yeah, give it a mix, like so. And here's what I think my family does different, but I don't know, maybe it's like every family does it. And this is how I learned, is with your Cheez-Its, I'm going to pour half of this in the mixture, which is going to help it also act as like a thickening agent. Yeah, and it's delicious. I mean, who doesn't like Cheez-Its? Okay, so a little more than what that's still dry. We're fine. We're fine. You're going to want to use the rest to just cover the top is what I'm saying. So half into your mixture, and then once we pour this into the casserole dish, that's when you'll use the rest of the Cheez-Its as kind of like a breadcrumb topping. That's what you're doing. So, again, stir, and I like using a spoon, you know, something big, because you're just lightly mixing all the stuff together. And this looks amazing already. My kids love it. And I'm doing, I think, a healthier version just by not adding the mayo, basically. I still go full on with the cheese though. You can use less cheese. But dang, why? It's good. It's protein, right? You're getting protein. And the cheese that I use is extra sharp cheddar. You can use regular mild cheddar, white cheddar if you, well, I wouldn't go white cheddar. I don't know. I think it needs to be just like cheddar or extra sharp cheddar. My thoughts. But you can try it. You know. Do you. Alright, awesome. Yes. See, this is going to be so good. Every time I do it, every time I'm like, okay. So we got a little, we don't want to lose any. And that is what it's looking like. Alright, push some of this aside. Grab your casserole dish. I just love it. Alright, and I sprayed it a little bit. My oven is preheated to 375, and once I stick this in, I'm going to leave it in there for about 45 minutes. Every oven is different at 45 minutes. Check it. See if you're digging it. I mean, you're really just cooking up some broccoli, right, and cheese. But it should be done in 45 minutes. That's my thoughts. All right. This is like a must side, at least especially for my husband. You know, barbecues or for holidays mainly. It's like, you're making that broccoli cheese casserole? Yes, I am. Okay. Alright. But it is good. Not something you want all the time. I mean, you can make it as much as you want. But I think, like, for those kind of special occasions, it's good. We eat a lot of broccoli in this house, so sometimes I'm like, more broccoli. Can't complain though, right? This looks good. Alright, I'm gonna use my finger here. It's my family, I don't care. My hands are clean, y'all. So there we have it. That's what it looks like now. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the leftover cheese that I have, sprinkle that on top, like so. And you can use the bag cheese too. I just think shredding, you know, fresh cheese is best. I mean, if you're gonna do it, you should go all out and do it, right? But you can use, there's no problem using bag cheese. So yeah, again, your choice. I think fresh is best, at least fresh shredded. Take the rest of your crumbs, your Cheez-It crumbs, and sprinkle it on top. I think I put a little more than I thought inside the mixture, but that's fine. It's fine. You just gotta go with it, you know? And yeah, this is gonna be so good, as I keep saying. Alright, this is what it looks like, y'all. Doesn't it look good? Alright, so now all I gotta do, stick it in the oven, and 45 minutes later, I will show you what it looks like and tell you how this all originated. Alright, y'all, see you soon. You guys and gals, this is what I'm talking about. Close up. This is gonna be good. So, I did cook it for 45 minutes. Ooh, still steamy. And it sat for, I want to say 15 going on 20 minutes, because if you eat it right off the bat, you're gonna burn the hell out of your mouth and not be able to eat for the rest of the day, or taste anything, I should say. You could eat, but you won't taste it because of all that melty cheese. Like, you need to let it rest for a good 15 to 20. It is so good. And see, as I'm getting into it, you can see that there's still like the chunks of broccoli, like I was saying. And it's just mixed in with that cheese mixture, which just makes it delicious. The Cheez-Its are key. Okay. So, story time is that my husband raved about his mom's broccoli cheese casserole. Like when I when I met him and started going over to his parents' house for dinners, you know, and family events where she would make it. I'm like, oh my God, it's the best thing. I'm like, okay. Again, I didn't grow up having broccoli cheese casserole or green bean casseroles, but I was like, alright. And I had it. It was good. I found myself, the way my mother-in-law makes it is like, she puts the filling on top of the broccoli, and again uses mayo, and so it kind of almost makes like a souffle on top, because she doesn't mix it all in. It's like, puts the layer of chopped broccoli, puts the cream or the cheese mixture on top, and then she does the Cheez-Its on in with the cheese batter, and then on top for like the crust, you know. But yeah, I was like, okay, I've watched her make it. And when we moved from California, I had to get the recipe because my husband needed it, wanted it, had to have it. And she did give me, plus I had watched her make it a few times, so I pretty much knew what to do. But I was like, I'm not doing mayo. And to go back a little bit, she got the broccoli cheese casserole recipe from her mother-in-law. And she said she changed it, adding more cheese, and I think maybe she's the one that added the Cheez-Its. I'm not sure, or just adding more cheese, what she told me. So then I got the recipe from her, my mother-in-law, and I changed it. And so it's kind of that like trifecta, right? Like a family recipe that gets changed like generation by generation. And it's kind of funny because I use the Greek yogurt, and I do fresh broccoli, not frozen. I like the shredded cheese, not bagged. And I think a lot of that is just, you know, it's more for convenience, but also the mayo, for you mayo lovers, it does change the recipe. It makes it more fluffy. So there's that. The Greek yogurt does not make it so much fluffy or creamy, maybe. Mayo doesn't sit well with me in my stomach. But anywho's and housing, so I changed up the recipe and I finally have it down to where I can make it and it'll be the same every time. That was something I had to kind of mess with as far as like how much of everything I would do. And now I showed you in the video, like that's what I do every time and it comes out delicious. But then my mother-in-law calls me up and goes, so how do you make your broccoli cheese casserole? That's the funny part, because I got the recipe from her, changed it, and then she wanted the recipe that I make. It's funny. She does do the normal way what she normally does, but I do think she was interested in trying mine just to make it a little bit more healthier, because it was, for just her and her husband. But for family get-togethers, she makes it the way she has for years. But yeah, it's just that little, to us it's funny. Y'all are probably like, what's the big deal? Like, what? I don't know. This is good. Do it. If you do make it, let me know. Or if you change it, let me know. What do you do in your broccoli casserole? I'd be curious. Like, is this the normal? Because again, I didn't know anything about broccoli cheese casserole until meeting my mother-in-law, basically. But yeah, it is a must-side for barbecues and holiday meals. And oh man, this just comes out great. I just love it. And that's what I have for you today. See you soon, friends.